Hello everyone, sorry my desk is a little messy because I have been working on another book and my big book as well. So, I just want to, I'm going to do actually this early because I did do all of the chapters up to the Standing Book of Shadows, which is the second end of this book. So it has its own Book of Shadows in this book. Alright, so we left off on chapters 5 and 6. So today I'm just going to go through however many chapters I can with the time, in a decent time. So, did I do that right? Chapter 7, sorry. Okay, chapter 7 is about the magic circle and the altar. Usually the circle is 9 feet in diameter, but you can do your circle however big you want. Just give yourself enough room to move around and stuff. The cardinal points are marked with lit candles, and ritual tools are assigned to the points as well. For example, the north is the pentacle bowl of salt or earth, and it may be placed north on your altar or where you're sitting in the center of your circle. It can be you can place a green candle there, or you can do all white, or you can do all purple candles for your four corners well, there's not corners in your circle, but quarters. North, south, east, and west are your quarters. Quarters, watchtowers, corners, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you can use white candles, purple candles, or there's a specific color candle for each quarter. So for the north is the green candle, mainly because north represents earth, stabilizing, fertile, and nourishing element, which is the foundation of the 3 other quarters. The censer is placed in the east, which represents earth. I'm sorry, which represents air. You can also place fresh flowers or incense if you don't have a censer as well, and a yellow candle is used to represent that quarter. Air is the element of the mind, communication, movement, divination, and what did I write here? Aesthetic, spirituality. I'll have to reread that. I don't even know what I wrote. Okay. The candle for the south, to represent fire, should be a red candle, or purple or white. The element of transformation, of passion, of change, success, health, and strength. You can also use an oil lamp or a lava rock if you have those items. The bowl of water is for the west to represent water. I'm sorry. Yeah. Bowl of water is for the west to represent water. It's a realm of emotions, psychic mind, love, healing, beauty, and emotional spirituality. You place the blue candle in that quarter. Areas of the altar, and I kind of drew a little thing here. The left side is for the goddess, and the right side is for the god, and in the middle is for both. That's the areas of the altar, and there's a bigger version on this side, which we'll get to in a second. The circle represents the goddess, nature, fertility, infinity, and eternity. Also symbolizes earth. Your altar can be permanent or it can be temporary. Like mine is temporary. I take mine down every single time after I'm done using it. Because I like the ritual of laying all my stuff out all the time. I think it's fun. Anyway, altar is set in the middle of the circle, facing north, the direction of power. Some people point it to the east, where the sun and the moon rises. I do it to the north, just because my symbol is earth, and so my quarter would be north. If you're water, then you would be west, and so forth and so on. So, tools are sacred to the goddess. Tools that are sacred to the goddess would be the cup, pentacle, bell, crystal, cauldron, and the broom. Also, well, I already said the cauldron. You can use a candle to represent her side if you don't have like a statue or any kind of other symbols that is sacred to her. Like those colors would be green, silver, or white. The red, yellow, and gold candle can be used to represent the god. His tools are the censer, wand, athame, and the white-handled knife, which is the boline. Okay, so here's the drawing of that. And it's a goddess symbol or her candle, bowl of water, cup, wand, and the bell, even though he said that the wand was a god one, he placed it in the goddess area. So you can do, he says in his book that you can do your altar however you want to, so I guess, just, yeah. Anyway, in the center is a censer, a red candle, and I was reading through it, and I don't know why the red candle is in the middle, but yeah. A pentacle, the cauldron, or a spell, or your spell materials, like your book of shadows. God symbol or your candle would be on your right side. Bowl of salt, incense, knife, and your boline. And so next, some symbols for the goddess. If you don't have, what deity, the symbols for her would be a round stone with a hole in the middle of it, corn dolly, or a seashell work well, which I have no clue what that is, but I'm guessing it has to do with a seashell, so I'll have to Google that. For the god, it's pine cones, tapered stones, and acorns. And you make sure you have everything inside your circle before you cast it, because it's really annoying if you don't have your water or your salt or your matches because you forgot it or something. So I would just write out your list of things that you need before you cast your circle. Make sure you have those things. Chapter 8 would be Days of Power, and it says the moon is seen as a symbol of the goddess, and the sun is the symbol of the god, which we celebrate the phases of the moon and the comings of winter, spring, summer, and fall. This is since the olden days. So we celebrate the full moons and the changing of the seasons. The Wiccan religion calendar contains 13 full moons, celebrations, and 8 Sabbats or days of power. 4 of these days, celebrated at night, actually, are determined by the solstices or equinoxes, the astronomical beginnings of the seasons, basically the new moon, whenever the phase of the new moon is. So I've got on my phone phases of the moon, and I have it all the way to June because I was just checking. So we'll scroll back, and it says March 21st is around the time of Estrada, I think it's called. And let me just double check that. March 21st. Yep, Austera, sorry. Learn how to say your stuff. Okay. Austera, and oopsie. Gosh, I've been all sorts of clumsy today. I just like dropped everything before I even started this video. Anyway, so the 22nd on Thursday is actually the new moon, and that's when you would celebrate your solstice or equinox on that date for Austera. So the next one is the other four of the celebrations are the old folk festivals, which are the Sabbats. The 4 Sabbats are Imbolc on February 2nd, Beltane on April 30th, Lungnasta on August 1st, and Samhain on October 31st. The 4 solstices and equinox dates vary because the new moon is always on a different date. In between the 19th and the 21st or 22nd, there's always going to be the new moon around that date. So that's why they always have the solstice and equinox's date going to be around March 21st, June 21st, September 21st, and December 21st. The Sabbats are solar rituals marking the points of the sun's cycles, which is usually celebrated at noon or at dawn, but with Wicca and witches being, so on the down low nowadays, most of the time it's celebrated at night now. So, but I mean, if you're comfortable, you can do it during the day, which I probably will, because I don't really care what my neighbors think. They can't see in my backyard anyway because I have a lot of foliage, greenery on my fence. I have like vines on my fence and bushes on the other side, so they can't really see anyway. And the Esbats are the full moon celebrations celebrated at night. The story of the goddess and the god. So I'm going to turn to that page because, just in case I forget something. The story of the goddess and the god is basically the story of the reoccurring year. So it starts off saying that the goddess gives birth to the sun, which is the god, at Yule, which is around December 21st. And then in Imbolc is when she recovers after giving birth, and she is and the god is becoming a boy, and his power is getting stronger, and the days are getting longer, and stuff like that. And then Austera is the spring rites, marks the first day of true spring. The energies of nature subtly shift to the sluggishness of winter to the exuberant expansion of spring. The goddess blankets the earth with fertility bursting from her sleep as the god stretches and grows to maturity. He walks the green fields and delights in the abundance of nature. Okay, and then Beltane is April 30th. Did I say Beltane or Beltane? Beltane. Marks the emergence of the young god into manhood, stirred by the energies at work in nature. He desires the goddess, and they fall in love. Which comes the maypole and all the celebrations for that, leading up to the midsummer or the summer solstice, known as Litha, arrives when the power of nature reach their highest point. The earth is awash in the fertility of the goddess and the god. In the past, the bonfires were left in encouraged fertility, purification, health, and love. Then it goes into August 1st with it, which is Langnasda. I hope I'm saying that right, because they don't really say how to say it in here. It's a time of the first harvest, when the plants of spring wither and drop their fruits or seeds for our use, as well as to ensure future crops. And so the god loses his strength as the sun rises farther in the south each day, and nights grow longer. The goddess watches in sorrow and joy as she realizes the god is dying and yet lives inside her as her child. And so Mabon, or however you want to say it, Mabon, is around September 21st. And that one, they say the completion of harvest begun. Once again, day and night are equal, posed as the god prepares to leave his physical body and begin the great adventure into unseen toward renewal and rebirth of the goddess. So that goes into Samhain, where he basically he leaves his body and temporarily says farewell until Yule comes again. So it just keeps going round and round this circle of life. So that is chapter 8 and 9, and I will do another video on the next one, so this is not too long. Thank you, and blessed be.